Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. We're playing a little bit of Blasphemous 2 here, which I have played very little, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it at this point in time. I mean, it seems pretty fun and good and all that. One thing that I have already noticed is a huge improvement over the first one is that spikes don't instantly kill you in this game, which is mass. I mean, that's so good. That's such a good change. I don't know what they were thinking. And there's some weapon variety now, which is fun, and so on and so forth. But other than that, I mean, it's still blasphemous. Fuck! It's still pretty difficult, and it's still really weird. That's right, I fucked it. Yeah, so that's that. Not I don't have a whole lot to say about Blasphemous 2. Fuck. And yeah, so this week on this channel we finished Kingmaker. So, for now, we're on a brief hiatus. Fuck. As far as Pathfinder content is concerned. It is definitely not the end of Pathfinder content for the channel, but we'll take a break. Baldur's Gate 3 is continuing along. And obviously that's going to continue for quite a while. And there were 2 new part 1s this week. One was expected, that was Armored Core 6. And then while playing through Armored Core 6, I was like, oh, you know what? I played some of that BattleTech game a while back. I should do a Let's Play of that. I should revisit that. That was really cool. Mechs are cool. And, you know, there's sort of the thought of, like, that BattleTech as a turn-based tactical game is more my speed nowadays compared to Armored Core, which is very much not turn-based tactical. Fuck. So I uploaded one part for BattleTech. I actually have recorded 2 now. And I thought I'd upload them both at the same time, the same day, and see as a comparison which one my audience gravitates more towards, which one they would like more. And that's, I guess, what we'll go with. So they're actually like neck and neck in views. I think when I just checked, Armored Core has like 1 more view. So pretty close. But the Armored Core video has 7 likes. The BattleTech video has 2 likes. So that's pretty telling, I guess. So, we're going to continue the Armored Core Let's Play. And, I'll probably keep playing Battletech, probably keep recording it, but we'll put it on hold for the time being. Yeah. So, this week will be Baldur's Gate 3 and Armored Core 6, along with more Two Brothers play of Baldur's Gate 3 co-op. And, Starfield Early Access starts this Friday. If you buy the premium edition. And of course I did. And early responses seem to be generally positive, I guess. There's a review embargo until Thursday. So I have not actually seen any of these positive responses, but I've just heard comments and stuff, reactions saying that the comments are positive, and I don't know what's all that coming from, but that could just be Bethesda buzzwordiness. We'll see. But either way, we're gonna play it, and we're gonna do a let's play of it, and hopefully it is good. I mean, presumably a year from now, once it's chock full of delicious mods, no matter what, somebody will make it into a good game if it's not already. So, there's that. But yeah, our Let's Play schedule is going to get a little crowded. And we'll just have to see how it all goes. I can't imagine... Hold on. Let's see what they're saying for Armored Core and how long it's taken to beat. Obviously, I have not beaten it. The average so far reported for main story completion is 14.5 hours. So for us, that's about 15 videos, assuming I die more than average, maybe 16 hours, I don't know. That's quite a few videos. I mean, that's 16 videos of mine, which is I generally put out 3 videos per game per week. So that's a month and a half that we're spending just on Armored Core 6. So I don't know. I mean, should I do a let's play of Starfield? Or should I just play it on my own and enjoy it on my own at first? And then, you know, once you know, updates come out, mods come out, maybe we do a modded playthrough at some point. It seems weird for me to not do a Bethesda game let's play. Right at release. But yeah, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I would just enjoy it plenty on my own. I don't know. If the release schedule wasn't so busy right now, it wouldn't even be a question about it. It would just be like, yeah, of course I'm gonna do a let's play Starfield. It's like one of the biggest games of the year. But yeah, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 and Armored Core are like right there. It's a little tricky. see. I mean, I'll have to make a decision on that pretty soon, but we'll see. Aside from that, it's just business as usual. Over on the Exploring series, I put out a video on Psychers in the 40k universe.
I sense.
It did not get an overwhelming amount of views. Which is a bit of a bummer, I guess. Sort of throws out any sort of theory about the thumbnail being all important. The Psyker thumbnail is pretty cool.
May the
but that does not draw in enough. Whereas, like, the Primarch thumbnail for the overview of the Primarchs, it's really not a good thumbnail by any sort of metric. It's kind of jumbled. If the things are all kind of mushed together in the distance, you can't really tell. There's no text, blah, 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 you know. And that video does just fine. So, I don't know. But it's a video and it's been released, so there's no point crying over spilt milk. This week I went back to SCP and we worked on... What did we work on? What was worked on? It was so long ago. Oh, Cain and Havel. The new reimagining of Cain and Abel as Mechanite and Sarkite sort of forces. Pretty good one. Sort of, kinda, you know, like a part 1 to an ongoing canon that will be progressed. The same author apparently is writing a reimagining of SCP-354, the Red Pool, which back in the day was my favorite SCP. So I'm very curious to see how you update that. So we'll see. Yeah, and then this week we'll be back to 40k. So last week I mentioned the idea, crazy as it is, of taking the SCP Anthology collection of articles, the ABCs of SCPs from last year, taking that and making a video for every single one. And then releasing one every day for an entire October. Really just a frankly stupid idea. Require a stupid amount of work. So of course this week that's what I started working on. I just was sitting there and, you know, I wasn't playing anything, and I was like, fuck it, let me try just working on this. So far I have the scripts for 4 videos completely finished. well, my original thought was like, oh, well, these are just, you know, there's going to be a bunch of like short little SCPs in there. Because, you know, normally when I'm selective about the SCPs that I pick, you know, I make sure to pick longer SCPs. And that's why most of my videos are like 30 plus minutes. But there's a lot of short SCPs out there that I just either don't do or I put in a collection for one video. So this smattering of anthology SCPs, there's going to be a bunch of short ones in there, so it really shouldn't be too crazy. But no, that's so far not really the case. I did do one short one, but the other 3 that I finished were all at least like a half an hour long. So yeah, it's really a stupid idea with a stupid amount of work. And let me reiterate that I have not committed to anything. If I wanted to, I could just take like 3 of the videos, the scripts that I've done, that are each like half an hour long videos and stuff, and I could just take those and just put them out as standalone videos. One of them I know the Volgan has done as just a standalone video. One of them I think the Rubber has done as a video, you know, and not making probably any mention towards
Open up the... uncover the lie that my... so allow the chalices to be... Now I shall...
Huh. Okay, that's good.
Bring me more.
Yeah, I'll do that. So I could just release them as standalone videos if I didn't want to do this whole crazy project. But, I'm gonna continue to work on it, and we'll just kind of see. Eventually I will reach kind of a critical point where I need to commit to something. As far as like this October is concerned. I could hold off and just do it next October if I really wanted to just take my time and build up this collection till next year. But you know, there's something about content creation when you just get in the zone. Like, you know, those 30-minute scripts, 3 of those, I did each of them in like one day. I've never written a script in one day. It's generally not a good idea because I tend to make mistakes, but when you're in the zone, you're in the fucking zone. But I might not be in the zone for that much longer, you know, who knows? And this project will take, I estimated, I don't know, 160 hours total, maybe? Which is a lot of work for me. Because that's, like, plenty of creative work, you know.
So, nothing...
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I do have some time here, and I certainly don't have to have the whole project finished by October 1st. But I think if by October 1st I don't have all of the scripts finished, and at least, you know, some of the recording and editing done, I don't think it's going to happen this year. Because then my October would just be fucking packed, and I don't want to do that again. That was kind of the appeal of this in a little bit, was that, like, if I just cram and get everything done by October, say, 20th, I could take, like, the last 11 days of October off, which would be nice.
Is there no... What a pity.
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy shit. And I mean, I hesitate to say that the writing the script is the easy part, because it's probably the hard part, but it's really only half the battle. Doing all the recording and editing for all those is really no small task. So it's easy to say, like, oh, well, I've finished, you know, 4.5 scripts so far. It's really coming along. It's like, sort of. And looking over the whole list for the anthology, they called it a 31-day event. I'm not exactly sure how they ended up releasing it. They call it a 31-day event. There's actually 34 SCPs, I think. I think it was 34. I don't know. I counted it a few times. What I originally thought was just going to be 26 SCPs because it's the ABCs. But they include some other letters and things like that in there. Some non-traditional characters as part of the anthology, because I imagine they just had too many authors that wanted to take part. And there's also 4 entries for the letter X for some reason. But it's okay because 3 of the 4 are all like adult content warnings and stuff, and they have to deal with like sexual themes and stuff. So I'm not going to do those 3. I'm just going to do the one that's not having anything to do with that. Again, assuming I get to that point. So in total, the number of videos I believe would be 30, which kind of works out because then I'd be able to do 30 videos, and then on the 31st, Halloween, potentially, I would release the combined video of all 30 as a fun little extra. Again, all theoretical. I don't know. I mean, I've talked about this before, where I feel like my best stuff comes out of just these, like, random moments of inspiration where I'm like, yes, let's do that. You know, the Blair Witch video, I'm really happy with, and a lot of people have enjoyed. My Final Fantasy XIV video came out of just a random inspiration, and that's now up to, like, 1.4 million views. So the combined video at the end of all this would certainly be the longest thing I've ever produced. And it's, yeah, it's just crazy enough that that's why I want to do it, because it's crazy. But we'll see. I might not be able to hold out for that long, especially with Starfield coming out. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, that's all there is really to say. I talked about this last night on Two Brothers Play. But I've been watching a lot of video game content on YouTube lately that has to do with, like, challenge runs and stuff. I feel like that's really growing in popularity. Of, like, can you beat blah 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 with only blah blah blah, you know, stuff like that. Yep, this is Blasphemous 2. And so I don't know, like, it just kind of interests me. Much like randomizers, you know, taking a familiar game and just putting a twist on it and playing it in different ways. And it's something that I would, you know, kind of like speedruns, that I'd be interested in trying myself, except I know speedruns aren't going to work for me, because I would never be able to commit myself to one game for that length of time. Whereas challenge runs, I don't think require quite the same amount of time commitment to a single game. But at the same time, I don't feel comfortable enough with any one game where I could be like, yep, I could do challenge runs for that game. Like, I'm decent at many games, but great at almost no game. That's my style, is just play everything. And I don't know if there's really any value in that for content. So, I don't know. Because I don't even really play... The only games that I play, like, repeatedly, or, you know, put a lot of time into, are, like, Factorio, but I'm not really that good at Factorio. RimWorld... And I guess you could do RimWorld challenge runs, but I'm not really that great at that game either. Pathfinder. But, like, if you can't even... I don't think I could beat Pathfinder on the hardest difficulty. And if you can't do that, what the fuck sort of challenge runs are you going to put together? So... yeah, it's probably not meant to be. Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. Certainly a lot of work I gotta put in. I mean, I guess that's what I am good at. That's what I can do. It's not anything to do with video games, but I can make exploring videos. So, I guess we'll see, you know, next Hanging with Mangg, give an update on the status of this crazy project. And if if it's still going well, you know, it's still going well. I'm gonna certainly keep trying to plug away at it. Like I said, I think Starfield is potentially the biggest hiccup here, as being like a big game that I'll just get engrossed with. But we'll see. Maybe my willpower can hold out. Alright, I mean, I could just sit here and keep playing Blasphemous 2, but not much point to that. Oh, you get the third weapon here. Ooh. Okay, they can parry. Cool. I feel like this has a lesser difficulty than the first one. Yes, that's what all the oh, holy shit! That's what all the Steam reviews, I think, seem to imply. I mean, a big thing is that spikes are no longer a one-hit kill. So clearly they have put thought into making the game less difficult. Just, you know, purely based on that, if nothing else. But yeah, I so far I do feel like it's... I mean, maybe it eventually gets really difficult. But at the very least, they've kind of evened out the early stages to be fairly easy. Have I ever heard of Chakan the Forever Man? No, I don't think so. I feel like maybe you've mentioned this to me before. Maybe not. Uncommonly dark premise for the time of its release. Sega Genesis and Game Gear game. Unless you're talking about a comic book. But all the results seem to be pointing towards this video game. See, here's someone playing Chakan the Forever Man with no damage taken. That's what I'm saying, man. People out here just... Everyone's nuts. Everyone's nuts. Okay. I can see potentially why you brought this up. I get vague, blasphemous vibes from looking at it. Huh. Yeah, no, I was not a Sega man, so I would have passed me right by. Also came out when I was 2 years old. Yeah. Very interesting. Not, I'm kind of surprised. I've never heard of this before. It's like decently rated at the time. How's Ziggy doing? Ziggy is doing pretty well. He's got 3 little girls now. So he's living the strained dad life. That means that there's little chance of roll manging coming back in the near future. He still wants to get back to DMing. I think he just went in on like an RPG Kickstarter thing so that you know, someday maybe. But yeah, role manging is tricky. Cause even like when the hell was the last role manging? Because I stopped doing it for a while because it was just kind of a hassle to. Okay, the last role manging was in 2021. I'm surprised I even did it there. And then before that, we did some Dungeon World stuff online apparently in 2020 during COVID. Uh, boy. Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff online, I guess, in 2020. So that was really pretty easy to do role manging then, because it's just like OBS, fire it up. And then yeah. So we were doing that Shadow of the Demon Lord campaign in person February in 2020, and then COVID hit, and that came screeching to a halt. So we went online, which is really a shame because that was a fun campaign. We did quite a lot of sessions of that. We made it up to 11 sessions. That's for us. That's really a long time. Um, I mean, they were all pretty short sessions, but 11 weeks of that was fun. Oh yeah, so that started as D&D 4th edition, and then we all realized how shitty 4th edition D&D actually is to play nowadays, so we switched to Shadow of the Demon Lord. Um, yeah, so that was all back at my condo. I never set up any. I don't no, we never did any role playing at my new house, and I've lived here for 2 years. Yeah, I mean, I really miss playing. I'll tell you that. I really miss playing. So much so that I actually agreed to try DMing for my family again, even though it was kind of a disaster. Um, but you know, just like running a pre-written Dungeons and Dragons module or something like that, just to have somewhat of an experience of playing an RPG. But yeah, it's a bummer. It'll happen someday, I'm sure. Like role playing games, unless humanity comes to an end, role playing games are going to continue to be around for quite a while. So eventually, Ziggy will have older kids, or will have enough time to be able to come out and run once a week some sort of RPG. So it'll happen at some point, and um, it should be good. Now, I have been listening. I talked about this on Two Brothers Play last night, but I have been listening to Old Gods of Appalachia, which is really good. And I was partly drawn to it because they have this RPG that's now out, set in the Cypher system. And I'm not really crazy about the Cypher system, but I'm willing to give it a try again. And so talked about maybe getting the group together in October for like an overnight kind of stay here, and maybe running a big one shot in the Old Gods of Appalachia system. So if I do that, I'll try to stream it because that could be cool. Yeah, I mean, I never would have thought that my mom and my aunt and stuff would, and my brother-in-law would come around and play um play Dungeons and Dragons, but they fucking love it, man. They kept on bugging me to play it some more and stuff, and we roped in one of my cousins, and she loved it, and my nephew, and he like everyone that we brought in pretty much loved it, except my dad. We tried once with my dad, and he hated it. Because I was way too anal as a DM about details, and he just was, he just couldn't. I think honestly, I think it made him feel kind of a little stupid, and he has no tolerance for feeling stupid, so he never played again. But everyone else has really loved it. Oh yeah, Old Gods of Appalachia is really good. It's basically like someone sitting around a campfire and telling you stories about like eldritch deities and their machinations in Appalachia. It's very like atmospheric. I maybe the later episodes they bring in more voice actors and stuff like that. I think they do, but at least the first season, the first 12 episodes or whatever, it's just one guy just kind of narrating a story. So it's pretty similar to like kind of what I do, except it's just audio with some sound effects, and it's an original story. Um, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it definitely starts out a little kind of confusing because they kind of just throw you right into like the lore and the backs, like, and then they jump around from things that, but it after a few episodes it definitely all comes together, and you're just kind of following along with the story, and you understand stuff. Midst is a sci-fi space western narrated by three people on the fly. Wow. Sci-fi space western narrated by three people on the fly. That is on the you mean it's not scripted? It's just, huh. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, this is definitely all scripted. It's two guys, one writes it all and then one narrates it all. And if I actually had a writer that was interested in teaming up for something that was actually like good, it's certainly something that I could do. And now, I mean, Old Gods of Appalachia is doing fairly well for itself, I think. I mean, they've got this RPG. They did like a tour of the country where they brought along actors and musicians and stuff like that. So I think they're doing pretty well. A rough outline, but the details come out of their mouths without a script. Huh. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to much. I don't listen to any podcasts. It's just like last week, we were talking about like horror television shows and stuff like that. Things, and I said I only watch horror movies. That's kind of all I do. And I was like, you know what? I've heard of Old Gods of Appalachia. Maybe I should try a horror podcast and just sit here and listen to it. And yeah, the thing is though, I can't like do other things while I'm listening to it because I like it demands my attention. So I kind of just have to like sit here and listen like I'm in the 40s listening to the radio show. It's kind of funny. I should hit up Cactus. He said he's retiring from SCP stuff. Maybe he'd be interested in collab. Yeah, I did hear that he's retiring from SCP stuff. My concern with that announcement is that he's never actually going to finish the Cactus verse. Um I subscribe to his Patreon. I've been subscribed to his Patreon for quite a while. I throw him like $100 a month, and he never updates it. I don't think we've had an update in like a year or something. And I feel like when you're at the point where you're announcing your retirement, you're kind of already like at that point. I mean, the last thing he wrote was SCP-7670, which is, you know, it would take me like 3 minutes to narrate. And that was back in January. So I'm hoping that, you know, he's putting a lot of time and sweat, and he's gonna put out his magnum opus or something like that at the end of all this, and then he'll retire. That's my hope. But you know, I know when you publicly announce something like that, it's very easy to just kind of slip away. But if he is still interested in like writing in general, and not just for SCP, yeah, that would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal to actually join up for an original thing that we could just make together. He writes everything, I narrate and edit everything, and blah blah blah. I mean, honestly, it probably would be better to bring in a third person to do all the editing, because I'm not very good with like putting in sound effects and things like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's probably something that I should do is actually, you know, message him and ask if he would ever be interested in something like that. Or maybe he just doesn't really want to write anymore. But I don't know, man. He's got writing in his blood. I can't imagine him just dropping writing as like a hobby or anything forever. But yeah, he may not be interested in getting into another like gig that demands sort of his attention. Um I mean, not that it would be like a weekly thing or a monthly, you know, in a schedule, but still it would be like, oh, when's the next blah 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 coming, you know? So I don't know. I don't know enough about him, but yeah, I'm certainly a fan of his work. You listen to podcasts when you cook at home or drive. I mean, most people just seem to listen to them when they drive or they're working out or stuff like that. But I don't drive anywhere, so it's yeah. That's why I've never listened to podcasts before, because I always have like a screen available to me to just watch something. I won't know if I don't ask. That's very true. Yeah, and I mean he's a friendly guy. He's a fan of mine. I'm a fan of his. It's not like a big deal to mention something like that. Um, but not yet. I don't want to. I don't want anything else to distract me right now from this big fucking stupid ass project that I have begun. So, come, you know, November or something like that, then we can think about starting other crazy big projects. All right. So I think that's all that we need to talk about. It was good stuff. So, more Baldur's Gate 3, more Armored Core. From the looks of it, we'll put a little pin on BattleTech. Because it didn't get as many likes as the Armored Core video. It's not an announcement. It's very clear. Let's be very clear. No announcements have ever been made. Nothing should be discussed. No announcements. But yes, if you go back and listen to the start of the VOD, I did talk about it. And you weren't on Two Brothers Play last night, Durden, when I talked about a bunch of horror movies I watched this week. Because I was listening to Old Gods of Appalachia, and I was like, I need to watch some horror movies set in the woods. So I watched a few woods horror movies that I had never seen before. You could only like it once you tried. yeah, I mean, it's a good game, and I'm sure it'll get viewership if I do keep uploading it. And I will upload the others eventually, but I don't want to overload the schedule. So I'm gonna come to some sort of decision about Starfield on whether to record it or just play it on my own. I don't know yet. We'll see. So that's that, and over on the Exploring series, video on Cain and Havel. It's a pretty good listen if you're interested in Cain and Abel and the Church of the Broken God and Sarcasm and all that good stuff. And that'll be that. All right, thank you guys for listening, for chatting. I always appreciate it. But for now, my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.